I'd like to share with you today a spiritual healing practice that I came to realize decades ago in working with Jose Silva. It's a practice that when I began to apply it in my own life, it was a game changer. And I've been teaching it for decades in addition to my students in the Silva Method immersion of life and intuition system. So let's take a look at this practice and what you can do. So first of all, I'd like you to think of your own health, concerns for your health. Or maybe you're concerned about your business and scaling up, or you want to increase sales. Or think of any area of your life, relationships or whatnot, where you're struggling, having some difficulty. The concern is this: if you're a Silva Method practitioner, or about to become it, or you've done the home studies, you know the technique, the mirror of the mind. And if you don't, you can use creative visualization. It's a very powerful technique that millions of people throughout the world have used for self-improvement, to help others, and of course themselves. However, there is a risk with the use of this. If you're in pain, if you have an illness and you're not recovering, or the recovery is very slow, or if you're struggling in your business or with a relationship, can you relate? The risk is we become obsessive. We become attached to the outcome. And we begin to apply mental rehearsal techniques while in a dynamic meditation state, just like we teach in the Silva Method. But it becomes obsessive. It'd be like watering your plants every single day, putting fertilizer every single day. It's too much. It's overload, and you wind up killing them. I've witnessed the same thing with the hundreds of thousands of people I've worked with live in-person classes and plus all the people I've coached and worked with, that the risk is, yeah, we want to be passionate, but the risk is we become obsessive. And then we begin to worry. And if we worry, we get stressed out. We produce more anxiety, tension. Our breathing becomes labored and shallow, and we begin to flood the body with stress hormones. Now, you know where I'm going with this. Science teaches us, not just us in the Silva Method, that the number one reason why people are not getting what they want, not succeeding, not making those advances, is because they're living in stress mode, because the brain is taken over, the back part of the brain, survival security, which is not about growth, not about progress. It's all about what? Protection, defensiveness. And there's literally no new growth while in that state. It's also a state of scarcity consciousness. So that's the risk with being obsessive and applying too much. And sometimes people say, I'm using mirror of the mind, the white frame, every day, 3 times a day. Usually that's way too much. I find it best, here's a tip, to apply the reinforcement to what it is you want, to the mental rehearsal, to the white frame, again, if you're a Silva Method practitioner, only as often as you need. So what can we do about that? And here's the practice. The practice is based on the premise. Research studies that were done in biofeedback in 1973 at Trinity University. At the time, one of our staff researchers, Dr. Richard McKenzie, he was a specialist in helping people overcome migraines using biofeedback. And he was working with us, and he questioned Jose. He said, gee, Jose, we have all this anecdotal evidence. People report, the most common report is health improvement. But Jose, as a scientist, I'm interested to know, when they use the techniques we're teaching in the Silva Method, do they indeed lower their brain waves, and do they indeed move into the state, what we've identified as alpha and theta? So they set up a study at Trinity University, and you can guess what the result was. Absolutely, most definitely, yes. However, something interesting happened that contributed to this spiritual practice I'm about to give you the framework for. Some of them were brand new. Some of them were experienced Silva practitioners, meditators. And when they applied the Silva technique, like the 3-to-1 method, some of them went very deep into alpha and theta state. Some of them only went into a low beta, high alpha state. Not that that's bad. But they did something they hadn't expected and it wasn't planned for. One of the researchers had the idea, what happens when they do caseworking? In the Silva Method, it's something we call caseworking, where you're exercising your intuition, you're developing points of reference to know the difference that makes the difference when you're accurate, when you're not. And more importantly, we believe in distant healing, remote healing. It's our concept that we can help. Obviously not 100%, but we can make a difference at a distance. And when the individuals are asked to work some cases, to bring into what we call in the Silva Method, the laboratory level, people who they care about, people who they knew, or they were given names. And they did some of the intuitive investigation, and more importantly, they imagined health, well-being. They did a mirror of the mind, going from what was wrong, canceling that out, to the image of health and vitality. There's more. We spent 4 days teaching this. I'm cutting to the chase here. What was fascinating was those who were very deep in the alpha theta state came up a little bit and centered, leveled off at 10.2555 cycles per second. Those who were low beta, just bordering alpha, when they were doing the case working, sending healing thoughts, they went deeper and leveled off at 10.2555 cycles per second. Okay, you don't need to be a brain scientist, and I know much has changed. Those of you who are scientifically minded, much has changed. Now we do more brain scans. But back then, that led Jose to this concept, because even today, my understanding, last I heard, alpha is defined as the stable brainwave pattern. Beta, gamma, much faster, more energy, but not as stable. Theta and delta, much slower, but not as stable. Why is that important? That's where growth takes place. If you look at the building blocks of life in the biological sciences, all new growths take place from the point of stability, center point. So you see where I'm going with this? So Jose began to put these little points together and then began to speculate, and we'll call it a speculation, a concept, although it seems to be working quite amazingly so. That we believe we can accelerate, when we can sustain alpha for significant periods of time, we can sustain healing, maybe some 10 times. Again, our concept. And again, I'll tell you, in these years, I'm the lead instructor, I'm the training director, I'm the guy Jose asked to travel the world back in '84 to do advanced presentations, to also help certify our new instructors. So I've got a lot of contact, a lot of resources from our global instructors all over the world. And it's the most common benefit people report. When they practice once, twice, 3 times a day, as we recommend 15 minutes, health improvement. So all of that contributed to this idea. Lastly, if you've studied any kind of theological studies, spiritual practices, scripture, there are sayings something like, as you give, so shall you receive. Metaphysicians, spiritual practices, some philosophers would even suggest the law of reciprocity, that as you give, so shall you receive. So again, can you see where I'm going with this? For that. So what I have found to be one of the most powerful practices that I use in my own life, and I continue to teach in my Silva Mastery Advanced Training with the coach clients whom I mentor, and even in our Silva classes in the immersion of life and intuition system, this very simple step, and yet can be profound. You ready? Here goes. First, get yourself into a quiet, relaxed state. If you are a Silva Method practitioner, enter your level using the techniques you've learned, and ideally enter your laboratory level, greet your counselors. If you're not, that's okay. Then just get into a quiet, relaxed state, several slow, deep belly breaths, and then bring into your awareness people you know who have a similar challenge as yours, a similar health problem, if not much, I'll just say similar. If it's in business, someone who has a similar business challenge. If it's in relationships, somebody you know who has similar relationship challenges. Anything like that can go, and work their case as if they were there with you, and mentally rehearse. So I recommend using mirror the mind technique if you know it, and you imagine what you know to be true. Work their case, so to speak, and come up with intuitively areas of concern, what needs attention. And at a subjective level, now by the way, I'm not a physician, I'm not prescribing, full disclaimer, you do this at a distance in the privacy of your own mind, and you can even ask them if it's okay, if they'd like to help. I don't know anybody who doesn't want some sort of help. And imagine then them in the white frame, or imagine them just the opposite, healthy, vibrant, as if it's happened already. And feel the joy inside yourself as best you can, as if you're hearing from them reports, as if you're witnessing them getting better, recovering faster, even saying, I'm just feeling really good. Anything like that, and you're mentally rehearsing that. You'll find it's a very powerful deepening technique also. Be careful if you're doing this at night in bed, the next thing you know, you'll be gonzo. Why? Because you've taken the attention off of yourself. Please understand, it's important self-care. It's important we take care of ourselves. Absolutely. What I'm saying is, I've identified as the risk is, the challenge is overcare, getting so caught up in it and becoming obsessed that we're stressing over it. And that doesn't work, never did work, never will work. So it's a practice that will help you to stay in a state of calm, of joy, and of course add in gratitude. Gratitude is the ultimate receiver state of mind. So you're feeling gratitude in advance. Whatever your spiritual persuasion is, you're thanking God, you're thanking the universe, you're thanking Source, you're thanking higher intelligence. Whatever it is that's relevant for you, but feel gratitude in your heart, knowing that this will be so. You know what? There's no risk at all. It may not be 100%, but I invite you to take this challenge and witness for yourself the results. Pay attention to how you feel as a result. There's no cost, there's no co-pays, there's no side effects. Oh, excuse me, there is a side effect. You might actually improve. Your friend might actually get help. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm making a point that you have everything to gain. So my friends, I hope you benefit from this video. I sincerely hope that you begin to apply it in your life. It makes a difference. If you're finding it of value, share it with others. It's okay. Teach it to others. Share this video. If you're not subscribing to my YouTube channel, if that's where you're watching this, please do. So this way you'll be kept up to date with every time I do a new video training. I'm working on doing at least one a week for you as best I can. So thank you again for watching. If you don't know me and my work, my name is Ken Coscia. I'm the lead instructor, the training director for the Silva Method, and I've been doing this work joyfully. It's my privilege and honor since 1971, baby. Take care. I look forward to meeting you one day.